Hi there! In this video, I'm going to share different ways that we can create payment methods to register payments. So for example, if your company collects payment by check and cash and Stripe and PayPal, this is going to be really helpful for you. So first and foremost, we want to take a look at, we've created 2 sales orders already in the sales application, and now we want to take a look at them, the associated invoices in the accounting application. So we're going to go to Customers, Invoices, and we have 2 invoices that were posted but were not paid. And we can tell because it's in the gray post-it and there's not a green in payment status button there. So like I said, we are going to go ahead and click on the pay button, and what we see here is that our journal bank only has 2 payment methods by default. We've got a manual payment and a batch deposit. Now where are these pulling from? They're actually pulling from the journal. So we're going to back out of here, and for educational purposes, I'm going to walk you through configuration journals to bank. All right, great. And so now in the incoming payments tab, we can take a look at exactly where that was pulling from, which is the incoming payments tab in the bank journal shows us manual payment and batch deposit. But a lot of businesses have different methods than just these 2 that they use to collect payments, and they want to be able to distinguish between cash and check and Stripe and PayPal and all the different ways that they may take incoming payments. So first and foremost, batch deposit, we don't really want to touch that. That's not going to be covered in this video. What we're really focused on here is manual payment and splitting that up and creating more of them, so that when I go to customers invoices and I register a payment, I'm able to tell the system and reflect in my accounting that this was paid in cash or by check. All right, so what we're going to do here is click on Add a Line. And every payment method that we make is going to be manual payment, because we really only have 2 options, and creating a new one is kind of a moot point because we get to choose the name. So manual payment method, and then we're going to call this one cash. I'm going to put my outstanding receipts account in here and save. What this does is now when I go back into customers invoices and I go to register some payment, under bank, I see cash. And that's going to be really helpful for us. So we're going to go back into configuration journals and add some more payment methods. And again, it's really simple. You're going into the bank journal, into incoming payments, adding a line. The payment method, again, is always going to be manual payment. The name is what's going to change and what's going to show up when we're registering payment on an invoice. So we're going to add one for check. We're going to add one for Stripe. And we'll add one for PayPal. Awesome. So now we have a bunch of different options that we can use to tell the humans working the Odoo system that this was paid in cash, check, Stripe, or PayPal. So let's see this in action. We're going to go back to Customers Invoices. Go ahead and click on this first one. Click on Pay. And here we're registering payment. So we want to distinguish, okay, this one was paid in cash. It was $1,060 for invoice 2. Looks good. We're going to click Create Payment. And then that will be in payment thanks to Odoo's default reconciliation functionality. So then let's go back to Task Customer and let's say that they paid via check. Awesome. What I recommend is either removing this memo and putting in the check number or adding the check number to the chatter. So we're going to say that this was check number 146. Awesome. All right. So what does this give us the ability to do? Well, we're not going to be able to really filter anything in this invoices view because this is just for invoices. What we want to see is the payments view. So we're going to go over to customers, payments, and now we can see very clearly illustrated that the payment method is check and cash rather than having them just be manual payment. This is really helpful if you want to filter by payment method. You can also come up here and filter by the payment method line so that your reporting is more accurate. So again, what we did is we went into configuration, journals, to the bank journal, to incoming payments. Again, that payment method is always going to be manual payment, but this is a free range text box that you can add whatever you'd like in there. And that's how we were able to go into customers, payments, and see at a glance the different payment methods used to register payment. See you next time.